Evangelist, here's Everyway Woman.
Liza, what do you think about Kelly Thomas?
Well, I'm glad we're starting with something easy. So I think it's interesting. The issue has really caught fire across America, and I think rightfully so. It's really sad, of course, to lose any type of life. But I'm kind of curious to know, would the reaction been the same had he been a person of color?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you went there, because that's kind of the million-dollar question. Had Kelly been a person of color, African American, Asian, Latino, would we be at this place, or would it be heightened? What do you think, Christina?
I think the difference is it's not a race issue, and that's why people aren't getting so excited about it, because since he was white and the officers were white, that kind of takes it out of the equation of like, oh, this is a racial issue, and that's why people usually get excited about police brutality, because race is usually involved.
Well, I for one actually think people are in an uproar about it. I think maybe if they want it to be bigger, their community, his community needs to get more involved, the same way a person of color's community would get more involved. Also, the reason why a lot of times when people of color have the same situation, it becomes an uproar because of our history in America with the police and police brutality. So,
but interesting enough, you're right, it hasn't turned into a race issue, but it has turned political.
Definitely political. I mean, well, and I also think it's interesting when you see the pictures that they're releasing, like the one on his bed in the hospital bed. I mean, you can't even tell that it's even a man or a person. I'm like, okay, how graphic is that? Who actually is choosing to, you know, release those photos? And unfortunately, or fortunately with social media now, you kind of have to be careful with what information is out there. So, you know, now they're saying, okay, they want to do a recall and the sheriff's leaving on medical leave, but now people are also saying, well, maybe that was actually a political strategy because he wanted to get into office himself. So it's a sad thing that you even have to think that way, that you can't even look at the loss of human life, but to think of it, are they using it as a poker chip?
Well, listen, that's a good point. You said, who wants to get in politics? The former police chief, or who's behind this political buzz that's going on? The city council. There's some questions about, you know, his parents. So there's a lot of interesting piece, not the racial piece, but what would you hone in on? Why is it becoming so political?
I think maybe because, you know, the whole thing with the police and the police chief and what he's doing now, taking his medical leave of absence and things along those lines, make it appear to be a conspiracy, when really they need to get to the heart of the matter of this man lost his life. And even though this isn't a racial issue, this is a human rights issue. Like,
but
he's a human being, and he's not really being treated
that you're also
as
being
such.
political, though. But you're like, he's taking a vacation and stuff, or he's going on medical leave. But the reason he's going on medical leave is that he can dip into his purse and he can get paid. He wants his cheddar. I mean, come on now. So that's where this strategy is coming out. So it's not just like, okay, well, I'm going to go. It's like, look at what happened with everybody in Bell and that government. And, you know, what we're still discovering to this day. Sadly for us, in this one, you had to deal with, you know, the loss of a human life. And I wonder, had people not had their camera phones and been able to record it and, you know, put it out there?
Know about
Exactly.
Well, you know, I think that's interesting that you say that, because that leads us into talking about, we're talking about the police chief trusting the police. There's this whole dialogue about, do you trust the police? Their training, when do they go too far?
I think honestly you can trust the police to a degree, but at the same time you have to consider the fact that they are human beings as well. You have crooked cops and you have good cops out there, and it's sad because how do you decipher the two?
Well, but you and I were talking, and you said that they went too far, and I think all of us would say that they went too far. But I have to put out here, we don't know what type of decision a police officer has to make in that split second.
And that's true, but
so you don't know.
At some point, at the same time, I mean, come on, logic something has to kick in and tell you this is too many times. His face was, I mean, there was no face.
I got that, Jackie, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm not disputing that they didn't go too far, but what I'm saying is people are outraged. You don't know what type of decision an officer has to make in that split moment.
But you know what though? Also from the camera, if you watch some of the footage, somebody had said he was on his back. Why can't, it's 3 cops over there, why can't they just put his hands behind his back? So it seems like something is, you know, more suspicious to me. That seems like they just went crazy. Maybe they were power tripping. Maybe these were a few corrupt cops. We don't know, you know, like.
And the difficult thing is, though, is that when the police are the ones brutalizing somebody, what can you do, like, as a bystander? You can't call 911, but the police are already there, and they're not doing right.
And that, I think, is a great thing to bring up, and I think that's why people got it on their cameras.
Right.
You know,
but also in the camera, people were screaming to the police, "Stop! He's down! Stop! He's down!" Like, where was your clicking? What's going on with your training?
But I also
the problem is when the police are the ones in authority. If you're just somebody watching a person of authority, somebody who is the police, you feel like helpless, like what can you do when it's the police that are doing wrong?
But going back to what Stacey's saying, I also think, you know, they all say in time of that fear of flight syndrome, you know, especially with someone that's schizophrenic, you get like this unusual amount of physical strength.
Absolutely.
So again, I'm not condoning what they did at all, but I'm also very curious to know what's their mind process. I'm very curious to know what that is, because I'd like to be able to prevent it from happening in the future.
In my opinion, if a person has schizophrenia, then you take extra precaution. My thing is that yes, if you know someone's crazy, then you wouldn't. The first thought in your head shouldn't be beat him down.
Okay.
It should be to
handcuff
kind of
them.
restrain him.
So
that's what police are trained to do.
Let's talk about this, because I'm going to use myself in trusting the police. I'm already going to tell you that if I get pulled over by the police at night, I'm not pulling over until I'm in a well-lit area. And it has nothing to do that I have schizophrenia or anything. It's just that because of everything that's going on and the heightened awareness, if I could say, about police officers, you know, it's just, so that's me. So am I wrong?
No, actually, there are websites or different information that actually say it is safe, because there are people who pose as cops or have cars or might have the signal. So you should, especially if you're female, to pull in a well-lit area and stop. As long as you're not going on a high-speed chase with them, you should be fine.
I know that, like, we could talk about it forever, but like before we have to go, I mean, one of the things that I also want to discuss is the fact that where the parents were involved. Like, I know we were talking about this off camera. I know if that was me and I came to my mom and I said, you know, especially if I had any type of mental disease and said, Mom, I want to be homeless, you know, I'll see you later, bye. You know, like, there's no way that my mom would have had this engagement. So I know it's probably a hot button to pick, but I also want to know, where were the parents?
Yeah,
that's true. And that one we could talk about, because I like to talk about raising grown children. Stay tuned to Every Way Woman. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Every Way Woman. Here's Every Way Woman.
We're back with a 2-minute blast on e-flirting. Christina, e-flirting.
E-flirting is great.
It is?
Yes, as long as you're not in a committed relationship. Then it's cheating.
Interesting disclaimer.
Because basically e-flirting, I feel, is just as good or bad or fun as flirting in real life when you're not online. So it all depends on if you're with somebody or not.
But I also think you need to have a personal connection with the person, because I also, having read things and even knowing from my own friends that meet someone online and then develop this fabulous relationship via text message and photos, and then they meet each other and they're like, oh dear God, who are you?
That's why honesty
wait a
is
minute,
you have
hold
to be
up.
honest and show somebody a picture of you now, not you 20 years ago, and tell the truth.
Okay,
about
wait a
things
minute.
like that.
I gotta come in here. You think you need to what did you say? You need to know them to e-flirt?
I'm
Because you know you flirt with a man and you don't know him. You're like, hi.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, at least if you can know a person, because there's also these things where, like, okay, perfect example. I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago with my cousin. We met a guy there one night. My cousin was very excited. She started texting him on her phone, came back, and literally had a relationship for like 6 months on
the text
texting
But that's not a
to each
relationship.
other. And then he flew out here, and I'm like, what is that?
Well, it is a relationship if you get a connection with somebody, regardless if it's online or in person. If a connection is there.
Okay, you know what? We're going to stop right here, because that's our quick 2-minute blast. Our quick 2-minute blast on e-flirting. Coming back with producer and actress Audrey Kelly.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Every Way Woman.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. But so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
That's it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Here's Everyway Woman.
We're back with a phenomenal producer and actress, Audrey Kelly. Audrey, it's so nice to have you into the audience with us today. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're excited to have you.
Excited. Yes. Listen, we want to get right into it. Tell us about your outstanding project you have going on, Audrey and Dre.
The production company I started, which is called the Kelly Company Productions.
Yeah.
Awesome. We just finished shooting and producing. We are now in distribution, so to speak, with Audrey and Dre, which is a Mobisode.
Yes. Oh, nice.
So you're releasing it just on cellular phones? Or
Mobisode is streaming video for cell phones.
That is
Mobisode.
I like that.
However, it can also be edited to be released as a webisode.
Okay.
So let me ask you, what was kind of the impetus for you to decide that that's how you guys wanted to go? Because, you know, the web series community is something that's fastly growing, but different people are trying to figure out how do you monetize on that. So going with the cell phone route, that's great, but is the audience there? So I'm curious to know how that decision came about.
Actually, the whole audience and how things are working nowadays with new media led us to a certain casting choice.
Oh, okay.
Because when I researched Mobisodes, I found out they're the most popular in Asia.
Oh, okay.
That's
And
nice.
Dre is fine. I want to tell you. Dre is fine. Yes, he is.
Actually, like, how did you come up with the concept of Andre and Dre? I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem.
You got your heart beating too, huh?
No, I really am. Like, I want you. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm an actress.
Yes.
All right. And I'm out here in Los Angeles trying to make it happen like all the other actresses out here trying to do.
Yes.
But I realized that you have to make it happen yourself.
I agree.
You can't wait for other people to come and give you something, or even with writing the script, I decided to write a project to promote myself as an actress, and I would also be promoting other people, other actors and actresses. I had a whole cast and crew, so another crew came in, and these were all people who got a chance to work together, and I created an environment so that everyone could display their talents.
One of the things that I really like is I saw the episode about divorce.
Yes.
And that was hitting home to me. My parents were divorced, and what I love that you did was at the end of the mobisode, let me say it right. You had people whose parents were divorced at a young age, and I wanted to tell you that was so phenomenal because not only did you show the show, but you really reached out to the viewer because it got me thinking about when I was 13 and my parents were divorced. So I wanted to personally tell you on behalf of Everyway Woman, thank you. Thank you for studying your craft and just doing a phenomenal job because it really, really, really touched home with me.
And I think it also really shows, you know,
Yes.
I think because people know, like, you know, where's the passion? And I think as a producer, especially if it's something that you've created, that balance for you must be something that you get off on. But at the same time, I'm curious, how do you keep that balance from not pulling you, you know, to the producing hat or not pulling you, you know, to the distribution? Because there's so much to do. If really what you want to do is acting, how do you balance it all?
Well, I have to say that producing this piece was not a piece of cake for me.
Oh,
it wasn't fun. Now, writing it was fun. Acting in it was fun. But the production part of it, I had to learn. I was literally feeling the growing pains. I was being stretched. I saved up my own money over a period of 3 years to do this. It was not easy. However, now that I've done it, I can do it again.
Yes. And that is the ticket.
That's right. That's right.
You know, Audrey, talk.
So I had a question for you. Where did you study your craft?
I went to Rutgers University.
Yes. Okay, awesome.
They have a fabulous staff over there. They kicked my butt in acting classes. And I think I'm a much better actress today because of that program.
Jackie and I were on the same wavelength because one of the things that I really admired was that you're not only talented, but you studied your craft. What tips could you give maybe our young women, our women getting into the industry, aspiring actresses about not only being talented, but studying their craft?
I think definitely studying your craft, studying your art, or whatever it is you want to do in this world, to study it, it can't hurt you. You'll know more what you're doing. You'll be more prepared. It's preparation meeting opportunity.
It's a blessing.
Yes. And
that is a blessing. That's the definition of a blessing.
I also say that you should make sure that you're studying diverse subjects and not just one, like not just the method or not just improv, but that you're really kind of going behind and making sure that you're doing a little bit of everything because the industry is changing so quickly.
I do. I think that in the beginning you should get a potpourri of different things because you need to figure out what is your specialty, where are you castable, and what is your passion. Once you figure that out, then if you're more of a comedic actress, you need to go do improv, do Second City, do the Groundlings, get that training, because that's a 24-hour job. Being a specialist in your craft, whether it's a dramatic actress, a comedic actor, being a journalist, you know, it takes time.
So, Audrey, what's on the horizon for you? What do you have new and exciting coming down the pipe?
Well, I am going to be producing one show a year.
Okay.
And right now we're in pre-production doing storyboard artist work for a short film called
Can you tell us anything about it, or is that
on the hush?
Well, it's about a couple that come home from a romantic evening, only to discover that there's someone else in the house.
Oh, I like it.
I'm excited.
Wow. So fun.
It's a thriller.
It's a thriller.
Nice. Now, for this next venture, are you going to reach out to the different crowdfunding sources that are now available, so you don't necessarily have to put your own money? Because you know they have Kickstarter now, Indiegogo.
Actually, I'm just learning about these other sources.
Because, you know, especially as women, we want to do it all, but I think the biggest tip also is that we don't have to do it all. We can also reach out and get some other people to help.
So, Audrey, where can our viewing audience find out about you?
Right now, you can go to Audrey D. Kelley. That's AudreyDKelley.com, .net. And you can see Audrey and Dre, starring myself and Andrew Chen. I use my stage name, which is Zuri Alexander. For all of my on-camera work, I use Zuri Alexander. On my YouTube channel, which is Kelley Co-Productions.
Audrey, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Please know that you are a friend of Everyway Woman, and thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back with our mommyhood to Hollywood expert, Michelle Rivera. Stay tuned.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Everyway Woman.
Across America, Service Learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities by connecting the classroom with community service. Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way. Inside the classroom and out, Service Learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Get your school involved. Visit learningserve.gov to find out how.
Here's Everyway Woman.
Welcome back. We are so excited to have our next guest. It's the woman and the genius, I would say, behind Mommywood to Hollywood, Michelle Rivera. Thanks for coming back.
Okay, I'm excited I got introduced as a genius. Yeah. That's never happened before.
Everyway Woman, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I have to say that you really started writing that trend because we started seeing all these different outlets reporting on, like, you know, celebrity babies. Are they pregnant? Are they not? What are the tips for parents? But it was always like in 30 different sources, and what I love about your site is that you've really kind of funneled it all, and I was like, that is genius. It's just you just go to one site and it's like a one-stop shop.
Okay, I'm gonna put that as my title now: TV host and genius.
Genius.
Yeah, you know, Mommyhood to Hollywood's really, it's coming along. I really see a lot of it out there in the industry now. There's a lot of shows coming up. TV Guide's doing the Hollywood Moms Club.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we have The Talk. So it is really out there, and there's actually a lot of exciting Hollywood mom news going on.
So especially about those people having those babies.
Okay. Well, what's funny is the names. Yeah. Well, what's funny is that today I was going to focus on who's due in Hollywood. And on my who's due list, I had Tina Fey. And then she gave birth today. I'm like, Tina.
For Tina. She did a great job.
Tina, now I have to change my notes for the show.
Oh my gosh.
What's
the baby's name?
Her name is Penelope Athena.
Penelope Athena.
Yeah, and I actually think that's really pretty.
Penelope Athena.
Sometimes you get some wacky names with
That's
the celebrities.
Yeah, that's a movie star.
Yes. But her name's Penelope Athena, and you know she has a 5-year-old named Alice also.
Yes.
And Alice says that she's super excited because now she's gonna have somebody to boss around.
We have a new Miss Bossy
sister.
in the house. I love that.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cute, very typical for a kid. You know, want to boss around, be the older sibling.
Who else do we have that's on the Who's Do list?
Former Spice Girl Melanie Brown, aka Scary Spice. Yeah, she's expecting her 3rd child with her husband of, I believe, 4 or 5 years now.
And she looks so good.
Yes,
She
I
always
have
looks
to say,
good.
I saw those pictures where she is just like showing the belly and being
Yeah.
proud. I said, you know what, this is so great because I remember a time from when my mom would say, you know, when she was pregnant, you would never really want to show the bump and you didn't want to do this or that.
Now
embraces
they're
it.
out in bikinis showing off these baby bumps. I mean, it's
Tia from Tia and Tamara, she did a beautiful shot of herself being pregnant.
Yes.
Very,
Are you watching
very
the
nice.
show? Are you
I
watching
think
the
Demi
show?
Moore.
Yeah.
I think Demi Moore started the trend.
Oh,
She's
she
saying
definitely
baby
did.
bump.
That's true.
That's just what the Hollywood moms do now.
Yeah.
They have to show off the baby bump, and why not? It's a beautiful place to be. Is
natural.
pregnant.
It's a part of
Yes,
life.
yes.
Okay,
so
so
she's
who
expecting
else?
her 3rd, and it's rumored to be a girl. So we'll see.
Ooh.
Jessica Alba expecting her 2nd child.
She just loves being married and being a mom.
Yeah.
Jessica, I want what you're having. That's great.
Yes.
Great. I love it.
Now, her, she's rumored to be due in September, but I have to say the celebs have been a little hush-hush on their due dates lately, and also on what they're going to have. So I do not know what the sex of the baby is. Does anybody have any guesses? Do you want to do a pool?
No.
An everyway woman pool?
Let's see, is she carrying it high or low?
Well, honestly, I think as long as it's healthy, that's right.
That's very true.
I think that's
very
knowing
true.
things is kind of
I
overrated.
totally am going to jump in here because I'm dying to know. Jennifer Garner, is she pregnant? Is she not? Well, she just admitted already. I saw the picture today with like the bump while she was running. So it goes along with what you're saying with people trying to keep it hush-hush. Like clearly she doesn't even want to share the news.
You know, I've seen even last year I saw a story about Jennifer Garner where people thought she was pregnant because she had a little bump, and then she wasn't. So
because sometimes the bump is weight gain. Okay? Everybody who has a bump don't have.
We can't always be the
present company
celebrity,
included, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sucking in right now.
I'm always sucking in. My bump is 7 years old. Okay, I'm just gonna tell
The
you.
moment that a woman in Hollywood displays a bump, that's what Hollywood
Exactly,
is.
that's true.
So she's gaining weight. She's got to be pregnant.
Yeah, and that is true. That's the go-to place. If they gain any weight at all, oh, she's pregnant.
She's gotta
But
be pregnant.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. Yeah.
All right, now, but we also have moving on with mommies that are happy about being mom is someone like Tori Spelling, right? I heard that she's now being the mommypreneur.
She is quite the mompreneur.
Yes, she
Tori
is.
Spelling, she actually just launched a website called Inventory. And you guys know she uses her name, you know, and everything. Yes. So basically, she's also pregnant, by the way. 3rd child on the way. Yes.
Really?
So, yes, she is also
Indeed,
pregnant.
are busy over there.
There's something in the Hollywood water.
Inventory.
Yes.
I think it pays because you get all the free swag.
Yeah.
Every time she's pregnant, she just gets more
That's
free swag.
true.
I feel like this is the new way to go.
She's definitely a celebrity mom that I think a lot of mom bloggers look up to, and so
Especially with that show that she has on television with her and Dean.
Yes, with her, on Oxygen.
So tell us about her new venture.
Well, basically, her editorial, it's all about sharing ideas and trends.
Okay.
She celebrates mompreneurship. So basically, if you're a mom out there, all you have to do is submit yourself, and maybe you'll get picked to be on her website. And
But that's creative. Editorial.
Yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
I like that. Way to get it in.
And she also talks about parenting and relationships. She shares her favorite decorating ideas. You know that she's into it. She loves event planning.
Yeah, she
like
does.
Yes.
Parties and everything. Yep.
So you definitely should check out her website. It's very cool, editorial. Another great mompreneur is Soleil Moon Frye.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on with her.
I'm actually doing a giveaway with her, and you guys, she's 80s icon, Punky
Yes,
Brewster.
that's
Yeah, I love her. She has a new parenting book coming out called Happy Chaos.
Yep.
And so I'm doing a giveaway with her. And Wednesday's the last day to get in. You just got to come onto my Facebook page and basically put on the wall a question for her.
So
and
if
she
people
will answer
want
the questions.
to enter, where do they go?
Yes.
They go to mommyhoodtohollywood.com. Yes, you'll see it on my blog. And they'll
Okay,
tell you all the
fantastic.
instructions.
Thank you so much. I wish we had more time because I had so many other questions for you. But that just means you have to come back
Yes,
again.
yes. I love Everyway Women. I will
You
come
are
back
our girl.
anytime. Anytime.
All right,
Thank you,
we'll
ladies.
be right back after this.
This has been an Everyway Woman production.